here we are. If there is any questions or anything, I'm trying to pull up the chat. Well, hard to do on here because I haven't really gone to this that much. But I do have a couple new guns that I have. I have this one, which 8-round capacity. It is Nerf Rival. The only problem is I had to open this up to try to get this to unjam because it would not even come back all the way, and so have to deal with that. Still jamming a little bit. Then I had this little pistol here, which was a Venture Force, and this thing actually does really good, and I could fit this in my pocket with no problem. It is smaller than a phone, so pretty decently if you're playing some type of Nerf assassin type games, then this would actually be decent enough to use. Because I can use half-length darts, which I prefer in this, because full-length darts, which don't remember which brand this is, come out that much, which I prefer having it decently sealed. But with a half-length dart, that just completely goes in there, no problem. And it goes about, I want to say, 38 to 45 feet, just shooting it straight with the half-length darts. So, decent gun, and it has a little area right here to hold 2 more rounds. For this gun here, some people might wonder, well, why do you put this barrel attachment? It's like, for one, I could use no barrel attachment for it. I prefer it with the barrel attachment because this barrel attachment is made for this pistol, which I have to keep taking on and off if I want to use it because the barrel does not fit with the holster. That came in a separate part that I took off the holster, but I like it on here versus the silencer for this actual gun, which I do like. And if I'm doing like a Bravo 6 going dark type video, which you can find on my channel, that one I do prefer for those types of situations. But for this, I like it this way. If I was going to use a silencer on anything, I would use it on this pistol. The only problem is the seam of it. That gun there is able to hold either barrel, no problem. Holds this one decent, comes in and out, no problem. That one has a tighter fit on the barrel. This silencer one to this gun can easily just come out like that, which I don't like that way. And in my opinion, it looks really good with the silencer, but that's just me. So that's that. I do wish to get another one of strong arms because I do want to modify it for half-length darts, but I don't feel like spending another whatever amount this costs because I got this for my birthday one year from a friend. I did get more rival rounds, so I prefer the blue ones better than the green or orange. It's like, I don't really see them much in performance-wise, but I do prefer it on the blue ones, and plus they're a little bit tougher, so in my opinion they hit just a little bit harder it's not so much of like a, ow, you just bruised me right in the chest because I shot you in the chest with it. It's not going to do that much damage to you. When I am wearing this, some people might be thinking, hey, what about your little magazines here? This is a little annoying if I do have the normal magazines for this, but if I'm just quickly doing it, it's not that much of a problem. I prefer, if I'm going to use this saying here for this gun here, not to have the vest on, or at least have these two magazines out and just put some ammo there. But what is surprising is with this gun here, this is the default 12 round mag for this gun. It can fit a 6 round mag, which looks decently good with this, surprisingly, which makes it more of a sniper. If this was bolt action, that would be really good. It can fit this type of 12 round magazine. It's not as good as the normal 12 round magazine for it, but it still works. And same thing with the 6 round. But with the 18 round one, which you'd think, hey, 18 rounds, it's pretty dang good for an assault rifle. It doesn't lock in because a little notch right there, so it keeps hitting it and won't let me lock it in. So if I was holding it, I'd be able to do this no problem. But that means I'm having to hold this and then use this hand to pull trigger and pump it. So I don't feel like doing that. 12 round capacity is already decent enough anyway. Which I only own one 18 round mag. And I do like how some of these guns do have decent shots without even having to arc it. Like the Dark Zone guns here and here, those, you don't really have to arc it for that much. But if you're using a gun like this one right here, you're gonna have to arc it if you're outdoors, but you have to account for the wind, which I do decently, but it is a good gun here. This one, I forgot the name, whatever, dyslexic. I do like it. I do want attachments for it, but it's a good SMG, relatively, because it's small, compact. You could consider it an AR, but it's a good SMG for what it is. Now, one that some people could say is an AR, but I would consider this an SMG, in my opinion, because it's small, compact, can easily maneuver. The only AR that I really have is the one I just showed you, and then this AR right here. But I prefer it on at least the pulling handle to prime it on the left side, because right hand trigger, and I do it faster that way than to have it on the right hand, then prime it and do that, because why do that when you just pull it back and still keep it on sights. And on this gun here, I do like the iron sights for it. It is decent enough for it, because trying to get the live stream to see that good. It has good iron sights to that, but with the mobilization of this, it doesn't really do that much for sighting it in. So I'm not gonna really care for it on sighting it in. I'm just gonna keep it stagnant, not move it, and then if I'm doing some type of video in the future, I could easily mess around with that and use it that way. I am wanting to get a modification for this sniper because I do love the bolt action. It's like if you're going for a sniper, bolt action all the way. It just makes it feel real instead of just a Nerf gun. And I do want to get a spring for it that pretty much adds 50 FPS to this. So it'll be going around the same speed for this one, just a little bit lower. And it'll just shoot rival rounds. So that will be nice for that. And with the sights, at least the iron sights, because the iron sights are decently good for this, the back is fine, because it goes fine for the cheek rest. If you're adding some type of scope onto here, you're just having to basically take your head off of the cheek rest and have it up here, which is annoying. You can do, but is annoying. But for the iron sights down here, wasps. I don't prefer it up and I don't prefer it down. I prefer it on that like in between click, which is weird, but because when I'm trying to aim down a target downrange, the target might be a big target or a small target, and if it's a big target, it's no problem if I have it fully up. But if I have a small target, if I have this down, I'm able to see that small target a lot better than what I could. So no iron sights, not so good. Partial iron sights, at least for this sniper, I prefer. I don't really need to modify this. Yes, I could modify it. I do want to, in the future, get a lever action gun. I could always buy a second one of this and a modding kit to have it go like this and be able to shoot it. But this thing already has good power and good rate of fire. I don't really need to modify this at all. This just always feels like a Western. I do know Dart Zone is coming out or came out with a new pistol, which I want to get, because like this, but revolver. One of my friends, he showed me that video and he's like, I want that, because cowboy, revolver, always goes good together. So I haven't really shot this one downrange or seen how accurate it is. So I'm going to load this up with the 8-round capacity, which I did at least load it up in my room and shoot some rounds off. You think 8-round capacity, but it's 8+1. Because you can have, went all the way over here. So 8+1, which is this is the 9th round here, which I'm just putting there. Put a round in, push this down again to load the next round, and you could always just put one in there, chamber it, then put the next 8 rounds in. So technically 9-round capacity, goes 1 in chamber, but they always forget to add the 1 in chamber. At least with this gun and different guns like this, you could easily put 1 in chamber and not have to worry. At least with the side mechanism to load it in. This one, usually just keep it at the 10-round capacity. Same thing with the shotgun. This one, you could easily add that 1 extra round, because it's better to have 1 extra round than not enough rounds in your magazine. Now, this one and any other gun that has a magazine like this, if anything, I'm going to take a 1 to 2 rounds out of it, so that way the spring can work better. Because like with this one, I don't use the 15-round or 18-round capacity on this one. I usually put 15 or 16 at most, because it just crunches up my darts That's why I usually use 12 rounds capacity magazines, because they just work so much better. So let's go over to the shooting range. And then I'm going to be standing right over there by those bushes. And see it too well, but I'll be shooting at these two X's, aiming just around here at the upper half of this. I'm hoping y'all can see it. So I was hoping y'all could see that good because the sun was too bright for me to look, but that was shooting high for some reason. Like, all of my other rival guns don't have, but they are rival 1, not the 2.0. But still, this one had serious up to it. And it's like, okay, I did not expect that. Because I was only shooting at close range, so it wasn't at that far of distance, so I didn't notice any for the updraft of this. And there's not really that much wind in the first place. And if anything, that's going to send it downward or off to the side. So if anything, you're going to have to aim, if you're aiming for a target, aim towards the pelvis, because I'll go up and get him right here in the chest. Go figure. So that was just surprising, in my opinion. Now I'm just going to test how far it can go. And I'm just going to load 1 round in and then chamber that. And yes, I did put the safety on. And I'm only going to load like 5 rounds in here, and that's including the chambered one, just to get a rough estimate of how far it's shooting, which I think to the other side of the yard is 130 feet roughly. I don't really know. I know about halfway there is 75 feet, which I'll be shooting straight off to the side of you. And this is shooting straight. Safety off. Oops. I double chambered that accidentally. Dang. Because of that updraft. That's shooting dang good. Got 1 round left. Yeah, that's getting, landing at those closer bush or tree-ish things. And so this actually shoots surprisingly really good, which I did not expect it to do that good for range. And that's just shooting it straight. That's not including any trajectory upward. So that could easily be a good gun. That the handle part of that, if you look up a Luger or a pistol, I forgot what, I just know a Luger. I think it's 108 or 08 pistol. If you look at that handle piece, that looks like the magazine for a Luger. So, good gun, surprisingly. Lugers are good. Nice World War II weapons. I think I'll use the sniper next, just to shoot that downrange. And for all this testing, I'm using the blue rival rounds because don't need to mix it up. Because if I'm going to use a full magazine, I prefer either to have the green/yellow because they're the same thing, or have just all of it blue. Because if I'm mixing it, I might forget like how many rounds I had in the one gun. Like if I just had, dang it, if I just had the one green one, the rest were blue, and then the green might blend in a little bit harder. That's why I prefer the blue ones, because at least they pop out a little bit easier than any of the blue ones, because those pop out. Green and yellow just blend into grass. And I'm shooting this at range for the sniper. And this is without any up. So this is landing 2/3 of what that pistol did. Yeah, so that's landing like 2/3 of the way compared to that pistol. And I know the shotgun roughly does the same as the sniper. And that SMG that I was talking about earlier, that does roughly the same as the shotgun/sniper. So, it's still decent. So, I will see y'all later.